Welcome back to Game Crunch, everyone, keeping you up to date with the latest in the video game world. Now today, we're going to go over a couple of the biggest topics happening today in the gaming space, including, if you haven't heard by now, Assassin's Creed Shadows has started to leak early as physical copies are getting out there, and we've got some official statements from Ubisoft, so we're going to take a look at what's going on in the world of Ubisoft as they seem to take another L. And then on top of that, if you remember a few months ago, there was a lot of criticism with Activision and Call of Duty about using generative AI. Well, they've come out and given official statements and confirmed a few things are generative AI. We'll go into the details on that in just a second. But of course, if you like to stay up to date with the latest in the video game world, consider giving Game Crunch a subscribe. Really helps the channel grow. Really appreciate it, all the new viewers. And if you find this information helpful, give the video a like. And without further ado, let's just get right into today's topics. So as far as Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed goes, this year has just been one hell of a roller coaster for the company, and this is just one more thing to add to the docket of things that's happened to Ubisoft this year. Assassin's Creed Shadows is one of the most anticipated games of the year, finally bringing the franchise to feudal Japan. But as the hype builds, so do the leaks. Some players have apparently gotten their hands on copies of the game a full month before the launch, and footage has been making its way online. Ubisoft has responded with a statement on social media, acknowledging the leaks and urging fans to avoid sharing or watching the footage. Ubisoft has emphasized that the leaked version isn't the final product, as the team is still making adjustments leading up to launch, and it's likely going to include a pretty hefty day one patch. As expected, reactions have been mixed. Some fans worry that if the physical version of the game is unfinished, they can't expect much from the final release. Others point out that physical discs are often printed months in advance and may not reflect the recent updates. It's a conversation that highlights some of the things we're looking at as we shift towards that all-digital future. Ubisoft also warns players to watch out for spoilers, reminding them that there are still official surprises set to be revealed before the launch day. While some initially feared that this was a delay announcement, the game is still on track for its March 20th release. Despite the leaks, the excitement for Assassin's Creed Shadows remains pretty strong. It's a game fans have been waiting years for, and most people are still eager to experience it as intended when it officially drops. And what can I say here? I mean, this has just been one hell of a year for Ubisoft, hasn't it? From this Assassin's Creed leaking early, to delays on Assassin's Creed, to all the controversy with Assassin's Creed, and then earlier this year you had the shutdown of X-Defiant, you had buyout rumors about the company and all this kind of swirling around, that they're kind of going under and the stock plummeting, and then Star Wars Outlaws, kind of launching to mixed reviews and then having all sorts of glitches, which kind of brings me back to the main point I wanted to make here, that if you see any footage on this game and it seems to be a little glitchy, there will be a day one patch. These discs are printed early and then they patch it after. That is just how it goes as we approach this kind of all digital future. Unfortunately, physical games, especially on PlayStation and Xbox, when you buy the game, you're not actually getting the full game on the disc. So there will be a day one patch. And just a reminder, just be careful out there on social media if this is a game you're excited for, so there might be a lot of spoilers popping up. Meanwhile, over in the world of Call of Duty, Activision has quietly confirmed something that players had suspected for a while, and that was the generative AI use for some assets for Call of Duty. A new disclosure was spotted on Call of Duty's Steam page, stating that generative AI tools were used to help develop some in-game assets. The disclosure doesn't specify exactly which assets were AI generated, but this revelation comes after months of speculation from players. Back in December, fans pointed to the questionable Zombie Santa loading screen in Black Ops 6's Season 1 Reloaded update, featuring AI-like distortions, including a six-fingered hand. This fueled theories that Activision was using AI in its artwork, and now, with this official disclosure, those suspicions seem to be all but confirmed. Interestingly, Steam has required developers to disclose AI-generated content since January of 2024, but Call of Duty's page only added the label on January 27th. It went pretty largely unnoticed until SteamDB added a new feature that lets players filter games based on AI disclosures, putting Call of Duty at the top of that list. AI in game development has remained a pretty controversial topic. A recent GDC survey found that nearly 50% of game developers say AI tools are already being used at their workplace, but 84% also express concerns about their implementation. While some see AI as a way to streamline asset creation, others worry about job displacement and the potential impact on creativity. Activision hasn't provided any further clarification on how AI is used in Call of Duty, but with increasing scrutiny on AI in gaming, this is definitely a topic we'll be hearing more about. And yeah, this is technically the third day in a row that I've talked about AI in video games, from what's going on with Xbox, if you remember yesterday, and how Satya Nadella, almost forgot his name there for a second, was talking about how in the future they plan on having a fully AI-generated game library. So basically a game library that is just completely, all the games are made by AI. And when you think about that, because how quickly AI could pump things out, that might be a pretty deep library. Anyway, as far as this goes, as I showed on the screen earlier, there was that infamous picture of the Santa with the 6 fingers. So if you see, if I reach out here, I only have 5 fingers, so you can tell I myself am not AI generated. I am a real person, I think. But yeah, as far as that goes, I think we are going to see more and more instances of this happening. And you know, I'm kind of welcoming it at this point, because some of these games, you know, waiting 8 years, a decade for some of these games is just getting too damn long. Man, that's all the news I've got for you today, so of course, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Are you going to pick up Assassin's Creed Shadows? Are you excited for Assassin's Creed Shadows? If you are, and you are getting it day one, just be careful out there on social media, just a reminder. And then as far as the Call of Duty thing goes, I mean, yeah, I saw that image. That just looks like something that would be generated off a basic AI image generation website. It didn't really surprise me. The only thing that surprises me is they have artists and whatnot on staff, and they couldn't, you know, let someone spend an hour with it and kind of, you know, edit out the extra finger, like kind of touch it up. That's what's kind of weird to me. But of course, I want to thank you for tuning in to another episode of Game Crunch. Of course, let me know what your thoughts are down below. And if you missed the last news video, I'm going to put a video over here and another video you might like over here. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one.